The college football experience, Bowling Green Falcons 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get started today. We're also brought to you by Bird Dog Shorts. The world's greatest shorts are hooking you up with a free Yeti style tumbler when you order over at birddogs.com/pool. Once again, that's birddogs.com/pool. Remember, as always, you better start thinking about yours.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience. Bowling Green Falcons 2023 season preview. Oh, I am glad to be talking BG.
I enjoy your interpretive dance over there.
BG, baby. All right, let's go, folks. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience, as we continue to go team by team, 133 teams, door by door, like the Avon lady, Patty C. We are doing it. And look, if you're wondering just who the hell is yelling at you, well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do in the game of football.
That's what Scott Leffler did after a couple clunkers.
Yeah, but
got on with his life.
Scotty Leffler, isn't he like best friends with Tom Brady?
Is he?
I think he is.
He was a grad assistant when Brady was at Michigan.
Yeah, I think he is.
That makes life easier.
He probably passed him the tequila when he was on the yacht.
Hello.
You know what I mean? Who knows? I got to do a deep dive on that yacht party after the Super Bowl. All right. I'm excited to talk BG football, though, because this was a program that was rolling when I was first getting into college football. This program was doing damn good things. Patty C, in my mind, and I know I got to introduce you, and that's rude of me to just say that you're here without introducing you, but I'm known to be rude. And Patty C, this is a national championship program, in my opinion. 1985 national champs had the same record as the Oklahoma Sooners, who and they didn't play, believe it or not. They did not play. So look, Alabama can float these national championships, and all these other schools. Texas did one in 1970. We're like, yeah, we had the same record as Notre Dame. We played Notre Dame in what was considered the national championship. We lost, but we're still national champions. We're still national champions. Let's just put it up there. We're national champions because everything is bigger in Texas, including your losses, apparently. Bowling Green, 85. They had the same record. They had the same record as the Oklahoma, and they didn't play. You know what? I'm deeming you national champions. Put it up there. You got it.
Hang it.
We're going. I am joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi. Well.
Yeah, man. Let's go.
Yeah, bud.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Urban Meyer, Greg Brandon, Dave Clausen, Dino Babers.
Nice.
This program's got a rich history. It's got a rich history, man.
Let's see how far back. Don Nalen?
Oh, Don Nalen got to start there.
Oh.
Let's go. Nealon.
Nealon.
You're making me sound, yeah. So Nick Saban. I like Nick Saban. We are joined by third man in the, I'm honored to have this guy. Anytime you're talking Mac, actually, not even Mac football. It could be Mac anything. I probably like a Mac game of Chinese checkers. This guy probably will have a lowdown scoop on it. Give it up for Alex Scheer, host of the CSC podcast, which is all action all the time. How you doing, Alex?
Doing great. A little bit of a fun fact for you about Bowling Green football. You're talking about national championships. I got to throw one out for you. 1959, yes. Bowling Green won the small college division national championship in football. The year after, the Ohio Bobcats won it in 1960. Two MAC teams back-to-back won the small college division national championships. So Bowling Green does have a football championship.
So I'm saying, do they honor that one? Do they put that one up?
I believe it's in Doyt Perry. Yeah, it's not talked about. It's not talked about very often because it was considered a small college division, but that was before they did the official FBS, FCS, whatever. But it's claimed in the record book. So a little fun. Well, this history for you.
Anyone that would dispute that, I say, well, what's your some of your national championships out there? And when I say some, I mean like 70. All right, are all. Oh yeah, the Waterloo, Iowa, the Register, the Waterloo Register, deemed Iowa national champions in 1918, and we're national champions. So own it, baby, own it. We're bringing natties to the MAC. All right, and we're a publication, so please, Bowling Green, feel free to call me, and I will if you need anything written or signed. We can do that. We can provide that, folks. We are here to talk Bowling Green football, and Scotty Leffler, we gave him a hard time because some of those games were out of hand when he first came into Bowling Green. But I think any Bowling Green fan would probably tell you, or anyone that covers the MAC, say Alex Scheer, will tell you that he didn't walk into the greatest scenario when he entered, Bowling Green, Ohio. What's your take on the Leffler era? Is he on the hot? Like, if he has a bad season this year, do you think you think he could get canned, or do you think this is an investment?
This is an interesting year, right? I think looking at what he's done, he's last year they went 6-7. They did finish 5-3 in MAC play, which I think is a key statistic. He's 13-29 overall as a head coach here at Bowling Green. When he took over, he followed up guys like Dino Babers, Mike Jinks. There was an era of great where they upset Northern Illinois in MAC championships, and then a really dark era of Bowling Green football.
Starting to get scared just talking about it.
Right? It was, well, I mean, orange and brown, Halloween colors, a little spooky. But so I think for this is a pivotal year. He in his last 4 years, he's 2-2 against their chief rival, the Toledo Rockets. You always feel better when you beat your rival. I think that saves a lot of jobs. You look at Ohio State, Michigan, that saves
they're about to fire. They're about to fire Ryan Day, or they're talking like, I don't think they're about to fire, but the fan base wants him fired, and he's won like 98% of his games. Yeah.
So it's those are critical. I think you have to go at least 500 this year, or if you don't go 500, you have to beat Toledo. Either way, this is an interesting year. I don't want to say it's a yes or no make or break year. This is a very peculiar year because they've been on the rise.
Yeah. That's going to be interesting. We're going to talk all about it. Bowling Green Falcon football. We're going to break down the offense, the defense, the transfer portal, and the schedule game by game, because that's what we do on the college football experience. But first, I want to tell you that the Bowling Green Falcons 2023 season preview episodes brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost is the world's first bet now, pay later Visa card. Edge currently offers up to $2,500 in betting advances, which can be an extremely valuable tool. Imagine what you can do with an increased bankroll. Get down on some of your favorite futures, perhaps without tying up your bankroll for months. Double down maybe on a favorite you like. Maybe you like Bowling Green on the over or the under. You want to go all in, right? Or you can use you can create an awesome middle or even hedge, even though I would never do something like that because we don't believe in it. But hey, people are different, and that's the beauty of planet Earth. But look, Edge Boost isn't some sleazy loan shark. This isn't that movie Kill the Irishman that I think takes place in Ohio.
Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah, I believe you're right.
Look, you don't got to worry about coming out of you're hanging out with your brother. You're at the old bowling alley, and next thing you know, you're getting I don't know, pool stick to your head. I don't know, but Louisville Slugger to the head. You don't got to worry about that because they're not a sleazy loan shark, but also they charge 0% interest. Yes. What? How's that possible? Yeah, that's what they do. They're fantastic. They're not, look, they're a good company because yes, they're trying to be successful, but at the same time, they're not trying to get over on you. And that's half the battle. Cause back before, you lose a few bets, you start borrowing money you don't got. Next thing you know, loan shark is not only he owns you, he owns a percent. Every week you don't pay, you're going deeper into that hole. Next thing you know, you're living under an alias in Albuquerque, New Mexico or something, and that's what they're not trying to do that for
Saul Goodman.
Yeah. Don't be called. Yeah, exactly. I didn't realize I just did the whole Breaking Bad screenplay right there. Anyway, Edge Boost, it can really be a part of a responsible gambling plan as you set up daily, weekly, monthly limits across all your betting accounts in one place. Support SGPN and grow your bankroll by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge. Once again, that's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge. You must be 21 years or older to use probably gambling. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, we are back on the Bowling Green 2023 season preview. Funny thing you mentioned that, Petty C. We're talking Breaking Bad for a second when I read that ad. And I was in Albuquerque in like 2017 or 18, and I had some time to kill. I was waiting to meet up with a friend, and I went to that house they shot Breaking Bad, and it was pretty hilarious because when I went there, I got out the car to take a photo of the house. I didn't go on the property or anything, and they came running out to me, the owners of the house, and asked if I would please not film, and then they went on to explain, well, they thought I was bringing a pizza. So there's a scene in Breaking Bad where the Walter White, aka Bryan Cranston, throws a pizza on the roof of the house, and apparently everyone in the neighborhood or kids in high school have been doing this prank to the real owners of the house. So they have like they have to hire someone to go up on the roof to get rid of all the pizzas. So they were fearful that I was going to bring some pizza. Once I explained that I don't have any pizza with me, they let me film, even though I didn't. All I wanted was a photo. I'm not a super fan here, but anyway, I thought that was a pretty hilarious story. So if you're in the Albuquerque area, feel free to throw a pizza on the roof of that. No, I'm joking. Anyway, Bowling Green football. This is my comparison. They're a lot like Breaking Bad. They're awesome. When they're awesome, they're awesome. And I'm trying to find what can I do to make this work.
They broke real bad under Mike Jinks. Yeah. You get a running back coach in there with no head coaching experience.
That's why we pay you the big bucks. All right. They did break bad there with Mike Jinks. Now Leffler's battling back, got him to a bowl, but didn't get the bowl win. Patty C, what they lose a ton though. I mean, let's talk about the portal first. Departures, offensive lineman Jalen Grant goes to Purdue. That's tough. Safety Jordan Anderson goes to UCLA. Chip Kelly, wide receiver Tyrone Broden goes to Arkansas. Linebacker JB Brown. And I don't think any relation to the old Dolphins cornerback, but he went to the Kansas Jayhawks. Cornerback Davon Ferguson went to Georgia Southern, took that midnight train to Georgia. And cornerback Marcus Shepard went to North Dakota State with the Bison. That's substantial losses. 4 of those are Power 5 schools. The other one, Georgia Southern, you could make the argument that
they beat Power 5 schools routinely.
I mean, and North Dakota State only is like the second coming of the UCLA Bill Walton teams, I feel like, in the FCS. Anyway, incoming, very short list. Leffler, I know he's been recruiting a lot better at Bowling Green from the Jinx era to the Leffler era, but it's almost like he's pulling a little Dabo Sweeney action here. I don't believe in the portal, but I'll take Connor Bazelak because that's what happens. Connor Bazelak, who started at Mizzou 2 years ago in Indiana last year, is coming in. He also brought in defensive lineman Hunter Deo from Iowa State, and that is it. They haven't won a league title since 2015. I'm just going to go ahead and say they lost the transfer portal. I would be curious, Alex, your thoughts, but
did we give Alex a proper intro here or?
Yeah,
we did. Okay. I'm zoned out.
What's going on over here?
I'm looking at maps over here. I'm drinking these beers.
Looking at maps. What are you driving somewhere?
I don't know. I'm curious about is Bowling Green's distance to Toledo, and obviously Alex, a Toledo guy.
Yeah, you could just ask him that one.
Yeah, 25-minute drive. It's just I'm curious about
right
that.
up 75.
Yeah.
Battle of I-75 is what they call the
There it
rivalry,
is.
Patty C.
I'm just curious about that section of the country. You know, there's a lot of Michigan, Ohio stuff going on over there. I don't want to get your take on that, but we'll get to that later.
We will
Well,
get
that's
to
where
that.
Michigan and Ohio are, is this part of the country. So that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of that going
They're
on.
studying the map. He's like, turns out Michigan's next to Ohio, right? And what's this? Kentucky? We have a Kentucky in here. No, but Alex, would you agree that they lost the portal?
This is tough, man. I think they won the portal with the quarterback in terms of bringing in Connor. I mean, he's got SEC experience. He's got Big Ten experience. This is a kid who can sling the ball, but he's got one target to throw it to. Hiliare.
Yeah.
That's one target. He's got Teron Keith in the backfield. Excellent running back. I want to give him his due. This is a guy who actually sealed the victory over the Rockets last year in the upset at the Glass Bowl. And that was an incredible back and forth second half of that game. But this is a guy who he has nobody to throw to. He doesn't have Christian Sims anymore, who was the awesome tight end for the Falcons. He doesn't have Broden, who transferred to Arkansas. So this is a guy he's coming in similar to the Ball State, kind of situation. Great quarterback coming in, nobody to throw it to.
Yeah, I mean, this one might even have more red flags to me. Let's dive into it a little bit here because they only bring back 4 starters on offense. 3 of them are offensive linemen, which is exactly similar to Ball State. They're led by left tackle Cameron Stewart and right tackle. Bringing back both tackles. I always feel like that's always somewhat good for if you're a quarterback.
Like to see that.
Yeah, he's like, oh, okay, I'm on board. I was about to go to Indiana State, but now I see both tackles are back. Alex Walschlager. That's definitely
that's a guy that's
got to be a liquor in Europe. I'll take 2 Wolfschlagers and yeah,
good German beer, maybe.
That's you go to Beer Fest, you definitely might not remember this, but you did have a Wolfschlager.
There you go.
and their only returning starter, as we were alluding to, other than those offensive linemen, is Odieu Hiliare, who is a beast wide receiver for them. They do bring in a Boston College transfer from, I think, the year prior, right? And Dalen Menard at the running back spot, who might have an impact on this offense. But this offense was 97th in scoring offense a year ago, 120th in rush offense. But
yeah,
I mean, that's not setting the world on fire. 52nd in pass offense, 107th in total offense. But Matt McDonald's gone. But Bazelak comes in. He's competing. We talked about this before. He's competing for the quarterback position with Camden Orth. Offensive coordinator. They do the dual offensive coordinator. That's the thing in 2023. All right. Mm-hmm. To protect you when one gets promoted, right, or fired. You're like, that was all Greg that was doing that. Well, Greg Nossel as the OC, and also Max Warner. I'm probably butchering Greg's name. Greg, I apologize, and I wish you I just said it was probably Greg that was calling the wrong plays. I was just using that as a joke. But I'm curious your take on the offense. I know you kind of already alluded to it, Alex. A little bit more red flags to me than Ball State, because Ball State brought in more guys in the portal that I could trust. How about yourself?
Yeah, this is going to be an overhauled offense that I don't know if it's going to be overhauled in time. Like this is you look at what they did last year. They went 6-7. Bowling Green was a very peculiar team last year, and they lose a lot of that peculiarity. That's a big word. I don't know how to spell it.
Very big word. Is that a D3 school? I wasn't sure.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Probably. It's in Massachusetts. So there's a whole lot of things on this offense that were great when they were great, were terrible when they were terrible, and you lose all of that. So I feel like you're starting over. You just have to hope that Scott Loeffler and his offensive coordinators say, hey, this is exactly what we want to do. Let's install it. Let's establish it and make it a priority, because if they don't, this BG team's in a lot of trouble, because I don't trust the defense enough. Yeah, let's get to that. Patty C, you want to say anything about the offense there? You think
Bazelak, real quick, is the only quarterback I've ever seen get worse in passing percentage each successive year of his. I mean, that's 4 years now: 71, 67, 65, 55 last year on Indiana after 3 years at Missouri.
It's on a 5-year plan.
55% completions, 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. Granted, in Indiana, you're playing against the Big Ten East, so that can skew your stats. But it's not exactly setting the world on fire.
Yeah, but I mean, he still has a lot of starts. I do remember a time I'll be honest, I wasn't impressed at Indiana, but I do remember a time at Missouri where I thought, hey, this guy's not bad. So getting him in, and who knows if he even wins the starting, maybe it's Orth. But either way, it's gonna be something to watch. The defense side of the ball, though, defense coordinator once again double. They're going. They got a lot of cooks in the kitchen over there in Bowling Green. Steve Morrison, former Michigan guy. I like this. I get it. Schembechler came from Ohio State, right? So Bowling Green's like, let's get Leffler and Morrison, a couple Michigan guys. Maybe it'll work out for us. All right. It seems like half the state might hate you, but or maybe the whole state. But Steve Morrison and Sammy Lawanson. I'm probably butchering that. Lawanson. All right. 113th in scoring defense a season ago. You might need to hire more guys. 91st in rush defense, 98th in pass defense, 102nd in total defense. Yeah, I can understand why there's two. Like I said, I think you got to fix and get this. This is not like Ball State. Ball State returns their entire front seven. They only returned 4 starters on defense, only 1 on the defensive line with Anthony Hawkins, only 1 linebacker in Darren Anders, and they do bring back both corners in Deshaun Jones and Jordan Uladakon. If I'm butchering that, I don't know. But anyway, they're breaking it. Yeah, they're breaking in a new kicker, and the punter is back. But man, there's red flags all over the defense too. I know he's been recruiting better, so maybe that next talent coming up is decent, but I have my concerns. Patty C, how about you on this defensive side of the ball?
I mean, you bring in the Michigan man to run the defense, and usually I feel like it goes the other way. Michigan raids Ohio for their talent and their coaches, and ends up making it competitive. Yeah. Now they're going up to Michigan to get these guys. I don't think it's going to work out. But Leffler proved me wrong last year.
Maybe he can do it again. That's
defensively, they do need to improve.
Yeah, best part about life, you can always make us look like an idiot.
It's not that hard.
And it's not.
We'll do it for you.
Very easy. Sometimes we serve it to you perfectly. And look, what, Alex? I think the defense, will it be improved? I think it might be worse.
Whenever you have to replace a guy like Carl Brooks. Good luck. I mean, there are teams that reload and there are teams that rebuild. When you get a special talent like Carl Brooks in the Mid-American Conference, you got to rebuild. Because very, very clearly this is a guy who can make plays. He's up in Green Bay now as a rookie. Yeah. He's going to do really well in Green Bay. And I firmly believe that. But that's also a testament of just how disruptive he was for Bowling Green. I mean, you go look at his numbers from his whole career. He was one of the most disruptive players his entire career at Bowling Green, not just last year. No, his whole college career, he was a monster. So I think replacing a guy like that who just naturally has it is so difficult. I do think that, Demetrius Hardman is an excellent playmaker at linebacker. Anthony Hawkins, this is a guy who on the line can make you work, make you have to slow him down. I think they're going to really turn and rely a lot on Darren Anders to step up and be the leader of this defense now that Carl Brooks is gone. And Darren Anders has the tools to do it. I just don't know if the rest of the defense around him can bring enough to support it.
Yeah, I got my concerns too. I mean, Darren Anders, a name to watch on this defense. Mac always produces great defenders. Look, I mean, John Offerdahl, Western, he was in the MAC. Rodney Harrison.
Okay.
Who's Jason Taylor? People don't know this. Follow some MAC football.
Studs.
There's a guy from Buffalo who's still active in the NFL. Yeah, you might know him.
Yeah, and his name literally is the conference.
Right.
Khalil Mack. Yeah, I mean, they got guys, man. They got guys. So don't just think because they're playing on a Tuesday, Wednesday, that they don't got guys, because they got guys. And I don't know. We're gonna dive into it. We're gonna go game by game on the schedule, because I think there's a little room for concern here if you're a Falcon fan. But maybe we can find a way where they can get back bowling where they should be. Before we get to that, though, I want to tell you that the college football experience Bowling Green Falcon preview is brought to you by Bird Dogs. Yes, Bird Dogs make you look good. All right. No, I'm not talking about actual Bird Dogs. I'm talking about Bird Dogs, the company. Sketch khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer with Bird Dogs through their thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. I mean, this is like perfect for Schwarzenegger, I feel like, right? This was like just that you put these on, you're going to start looking like Schwarzenegger. You're going to be walking around. Next thing you know, you might run for governor. Yeah. All right.
Your shoulders and chest magically grow.
Yes. You got all this good stuff going on here. And you develop a Austrian accent. And for some reason, a science fiction movie decides to go in the future and not explain the accent in Skynet. They don't explain that Skynet is in Austria. I've never understood that. This is an easy fix. Please do that in the next Terminator, guys. Anyway, I was talking about the fine company, Bird Dogs. Look, their shorts are just better than any other shorts out there. They fit way better. They don't have like stiff restricting cotton. Bird Dogs fixed this issue years ago. Honestly, years ago, by inventing cloud knit fabric that looks like khakis but stretches so you get a way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice all the movement. It's genius. All right, Bird Dogs uses anti-stink sweat wicking fabric also, which I think is just sounds amazing. This sells me, even though I already own. Every time I read this, I think about buying another pair of shorts because this anti-stink sweat wicking fabric, Patty C, this thing is cutting edge. All right. It keeps you cool and dry all day long. So you're not smelling like Robert Downey Jr. in 95. All right. You're good. You're good. All right. Go to birddogs.com/pool.
I feel like smelling like Robert Downey Jr. in 95 would.
He was like a full blown alcoholic is my point.
That would have been a party.
Yeah. He might have actually been more than an alcoholic, but
we don't want you smelling like that.
He still won. And look, you can win too by putting on Bird Dog shorts, baby. Go to birddogs.com/pool and enter the promo code POOL, POOL, for a free Yeti style tumbler with your order. That's birddogs.com/pool for that Yeti style tumbler. That Patty C, that is a almost like a thermos. So
not
think
a
of it
romper.
like that. Not a romper.
Not a male singlet.
You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off. I'll tell you that. All right. And we promise you won't want to take them off. So check us out. All right. We are back on the Bowling Green Falcons preview. Robert Downey Jr. did find a way to win at life. I was not trying to bag at him. You got to watch it in 2023. I feel like everyone thinks next thing you know,
you're getting heat from his agents.
I'm saying you got to watch it. All right. But Robert Downey Jr., you're more than welcome to come on the show at any time.
Let's get Robert Downey Jr. on.
I was really good friends with my buddy Richard Alderete, who passed away, but he was good friends with Bob Downey Sr. And he would tell me some crazy stories that you can't even blame Robert Downey Jr. He told me a story. That he went to his birthday party, Robert Downey Sr.'s birthday party.
Yeah.
And I want to say Robert Downey Jr. was like 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, they laced his Kool-Aid with acid. So he's like 9 or 10 years old and he's on acid and he's just, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Like, dude, at 9 or 10 years old, I was watching Maction. All right. I wasn't sitting there.
Habits are built for life at 9 or 10 years old.
Yeah. No wonder why. But then he's still talk about overcoming obstacles. Sure. It helped you had your dad in the industry, but damn, doing acid at 9 or 10 years. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemies.
Yeah,
anyway, folks, you know who might need to do acid after this is myself, because I was wrong on Bowling Green last year. I went back and listened to this episode a year ago and I called for the under and I was way off. So we'll see how we do here when we look at the schedule.
What was that number last year? They went 6-7.
Last year's number was actually 4.
And they crushed it.
They crushed it. And I was on the under. I was like, this team's no good. They got nobody. See, what am I doing? Hosting a college football podcast.
Fade
right?
Leffler at your own,
Yeah. Leffler made me look like a fool. Robert Downey Jr. is probably going to make me look like a fool. But anyway, here we are. The win total, if you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience, the win total is at 5. So less than they won 6 games last year, but more as the win total. So I don't know what you make from that, Patty C, but I can tell you this: week 1, all right, blindly blindly? First off, I guess before I dive into week one, do you think over? By me judging the roster without looking at the schedule, I kind of think under again. But I was wrong last year. Alex, what about you?
This is tough, man. I in our own show we did our own previews, and I took the under as well. Both AJ and I did, my co-host, and we got dragged hard by Bowling Green faithful come season end. Which fair, we leave it up so that you can drag us at the end of the season. Yeah, exactly. All three of them. So we listened back, and it's like, man, we were really wrong on this, because I said Bowling Green would be lucky to win 3 games. So I didn't even give them 3.
Yeah.
And then they made a bowl game. So of course, we had to attend that bowl game. Like, hey, we still support these guys. It's and it was a quick drive up to Detroit. It wasn't like I had to go to Arizona. Just picking them. I mean, I look at this roster, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to blindly do this. I see 4.5 wins, or at the schedule, I see 4.5 wins. I don't, and obviously half is not a real thing in sports. So I see 4 wins, maybe 5 if the wind blows the right direction on a Tuesday night, but I see 4 wins. I really do.
There you go. See, he's honest. He hosts a Mac podcast. Patty C.
Well, let me cut you a little slack and cut us a little slack. Their losses, there was the 7 overtime loss to Eastern Kentucky. That hurts. But other than that, 45-17 loss against UCLA, 45-14 loss against Mississippi State, 38-7 loss against Buffalo, 40-6 loss against Kent State, 38-14 loss against Ohio, and then they get to the bowl and a 5-point loss against New Mexico State.
Jerry Kill.
Most of those losses are absolutely annihilated.
Yeah, Jerry Kill went for the kill.
Meanwhile, their wins: 3-point win against Marshall, 3-point win against Akron, 4-point win against Miami, Ohio, 6-point win against Central Michigan, 4-point win against Western Michigan, and 7-point win against Toledo. They didn't beat any team by more than a touchdown. They lost a bunch of games by like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah,
they're counterfeit.
Well, let's get into it, because week one. Well, I'll tell you this: if you told me you were going to play Liberty, which is installing a brand new offense, and new head coach Jamie Chadwell, who's fantastic. But if you told me you were going to take on the Flaming Libs, the Liberty Flames, which I like to call, we like to call them the Flaming Libs, because they're
it fits.
Yeah, it fits perfectly. Go watch that
accurate
documentary.
Description of how their views.
Yes,
in the world.
Yes, but they go to Williams Stadium in Lynchburg to take on the Flaming Libs. If you told me they had to play them at any time, I would say I'd rather play them at week 1 than any other time in the year. So that is a little bit of a break. However, I think Jamie Chadwell and Liberty spends like they're an SEC school.
Yeah,
they act like they're an SEC school if you dive deeper on that one too. So I'm on the Flaming Libs week 1 at Williams Stadium in Lynchburg, Virginia. Alex, what are you doing here?
I think this is tough, man. You got to go on the road against a solid Liberty team who lost a 2-point game to Toledo in the bowl game the previous year, down at the Boca Raton Bowl. I don't know much about Liberty and who all they're returning starters wise, things like that. But as you mentioned, I mean, they got a great coaching staff. This is a tough team. You got to go into their place. Liberty's fired up after a great season last year. I think this is a battle, but I think Liberty takes it.
Those fans show up too, man. This place gets lit.
Yeah.
Basketball too. They just have a good fan base. Patty C, what are you doing here at Williams Stadium?
Liberty is going to spank them. It's going to be one of these 40-6 games.
Wow.
I think Jamie Chadwell will have something figured out at least by week 1, and their talent level will outclass Bowling Green's.
Well, they bounce back to the Doyt Perry Stadium on Saturday, September 9th. Take on Eastern Illinois, Tony Romo's alma mater. All right, Jimmy Garoppolo. Could they have the next backup quarterback that dates porn stars? Perhaps, I don't know. But this is a win, right? We're on board with the win here. I think they get it done, but obviously they lost to an FCS last year. So, but Eastern Kentucky's a lot better than Eastern Illinois.
2-9 last year at the FCS level. You
got to take Bowling Green here. Alex, what are you doing here?
I'm taking the Falcons. It's this is their home opener. This is against an Eastern Illinois team who just has not been good. Who did almost beat Northern Illinois last year, just for the record.
That's true. That is true. I watched that.
They did almost beat them. So I mean, we're seeing a lot of these FCS teams come up and they jump up and try to compete, and they do a great job. So hats off to all those FCS programs that do come in and compete. But I think that Bowling Green, they're licking their wounds after week 1. They come in, they're refocused, and they're ready to handle business against Eastern Illinois at the Doyt.
Patty?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, so 1-1, and then they head to the big house.
Going to this
Shout
one.
out to Oh shit. There we
Nice.
go.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Please, Bowling Green, please win this game. This would be absolutely
Wait,
hilarious.
who did Bowling Green give a run for their money a couple years back? Was
They
it like
beat Minnesota.
Oh, they beat Minnesota.
Minnesota.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's freaking great.
So please win this game, because Michigan. Shout out to the look. Michigan, they've been in the playoff 2 years in a row, but they did cancel that series against UCLA, so they're only playing 8 Power Fives. Classic move, by the way, and replace it. You replace it with, last year they played like Hawaii and UNLV. Or no, this year's UNLV. Last year was like Hawaii and Colorado State. It was like there was a terrible out of conference schedule.
They watched the SEC and they have learned well.
Yeah, they're like, hey, wait, okay, we can get away with this.
Go to the playoff every year.
Michigan's going to dominate them. Michigan's loaded. Everyone came back. They did an NIL collector that was like a GoFundMe. Why don't all the players just put their Venmo on the back of their jerseys?
Pull a UCF from a few years ago at the spring game with the digital code on the jerseys. You guys remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that story.
Fucking QR code or something.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
That is genius. Guys, I hope. I mean, I know you're going to the game, Alex, but I kind of want to lay 35 in Michigan. What do you think this outcome is going to be?
Michigan is 35-1 against MAC teams all time. The one loss came in 2008 against Toledo, 13-10 on a last-second field goal.
I remember that.
Toledo would finish the year 3-9 and fired Tom Amstutz at the end of the year.
Man, but you got that win.
The Wolverines finish this game, and they improved to 36-1 against Mid-American Conference teams.
Patty, see any chance your boy Leffler's a Michigan guy too? He knows.
Yeah, maybe
he knows the blueprints.
Maybe Harbaugh takes it easier. Maybe Harbaugh proves I'm the kingpin quarterback, ex-Michigan quarterback.
That competitive. I think he wouldn't even care that he went to Michigan.
All right.
Be like, I'm better than you.
Look, I think this is how Michigan season is going to shape up. They're going to get a little challenged by ECU out the gates in Ann Arbor, and not produce.
That's the game they lose.
Well, we'll see about that.
They've had a history of opening up to North Carolina schools
and taking losses.
Not
a one game history, but either way, I think the next 3 games is where Michigan establishes their Heisman runs for Blake Corum and who's the other back?
Donovan Edwards.
Edwards. You say back. I thought you were gonna say quarterback.
Oh well, it could be him too.
Yeah.
JJ McCarthy.
All
3 of them.
Heisman finalists. I was assuming you were going McCarthy, so I was like,
well, whoever emerges as I think either way, they're running up stats on UNLV, Bowling Green, and Rutgers all at home, and I think they're going to be merciless in that effort. And so I think look for this one to be a slaughter fest.
Yeah. So we got them all 1 and 2, and then the Ohio Bobcats and Curtis Rourke. These are the breaks. Curtis Rourke. Look, I'm a big fan. No relation, as far as I know, to Mickey Rourke, and I have not seen Curtis Rourke doing cocaine in the bathroom in Hollywood. But I'm not going to rule it out. But because he's a quarterback and he's winning and he was awesome, so potentially that could happen down the road. But if he's healthy, which I think he's going to be healthy. I think the Ohio Bobcats and I almost said Frank Solich. What's my guy's name? Tim Albin get it done. And yeah, I got Bowling Green 1 and 4. How about you, Alex? You got Ohio winning this one at the Doyt?
Yeah, Ohio takes this one. I mean, you just mentioned Curtis Rourke and what he's done down there and all the history of that family. Nathan Rourke, his brother, is up in Canada, kicking ass. So it's like, they've just got a history of quarterbacks in that family, history of playmakers. Curtis Rourke, is coming back this year. He's got something to prove. There's a sour taste in their mouth from not winning the MAC championship last year. They were so close. They've been so close. They haven't won a MAC title since '68. They are on a mission this year. It is I think it's the longest drought in conference. In the conference right now. Yeah, because Kent State hasn't won it since '72. So Ohio is they are on a mission to try to win a MAC championship.
They're
going to run
Yes.
through the East this year.
Safe to say
They've been
due.
like a good program too.
Yeah.
Man.
They're
remember them-
in the title a lot.
Yeah.
They just they just can't win it.
Well, homecoming at the Doyt, you can't really ignore that. But 38-14 on the last game of the season
they're
last
gonna
year,
get
you
their
can't
ass.
ignore that either.
They're gonna get their ass, especially after Michigan. It's a body blow game against Michigan. So I got them 1-3. Then they head down to Doyt Stadium, where they drive that old Cadillac out there, whatever that. What kind of car is
Model
that?
T.
Yeah, I don't know. Something old.
Some swaggy.
And Doyt said Brett Key, he believes it's a turnkey program. He played at Georgia Tech. Look, I know Northern Illinois went to Doyt and got a win a couple years ago.
Yep.
Ain't gonna happen here. I think Georgia Tech's actually gonna be a little. Jeff Collins. I know Brent Key is not the sexiest hire, but I do think he's a better coach than Jeff Collins. I think Georgia Tech takes care of business. Might be a little closer than what people think, but I think GT gets the dub. How about you, Alex?
I like GT in this one, and not because of any one particular reason. I do think they've got a solid coaching staff down there. I mean, that offense and that defense, they're still finding their legs, right? This is a program that they're trying to turn around, trying to get to be nationally relevant again. And hats off to them. I think that they can use this Bowling Green game as a tune-up. Bowling Green, however, I do think they get an opportunity to make this a little bit more interesting. Like you said, this is, you lose the Michigan game, so you're kind of in the hunt for trying to figure that out. You just lost Ohio. You got the one win with Eastern Illinois. I think they try to make this a much more interesting game, and they say, hey, we're here to play. And I think this is probably a 2-score loss for the Falcons, but it gets competitive for a good while in this one.
Patty C?
Georgia Tech, 7-point loss to last 6 games of the regular season, 7-point loss against Virginia, smoked 41-16 by Florida State, squeaked by Virginia Tech by 1, lost to Miami by 21, beat North Carolina by 4, lost to Georgia by 23, which actually is kind of respectable. But either way, getting rocked most of the time and winning close again. So I think Georgia Tech isn't capable of beating teams by a lot of points, and I think Bowling Green will keep it close. But I got to go Yellow Jackets here.
Going Yellow Jackets. They got back-to-back away. This schedule gets a little insane right here. They go to Jagerbomb Stadium here in Oxford, Ohio, to take on the Miami, Ohio Redhawks. And Miami, Ohio, by the way, 47-25-5 all time against Bowling Green, but they did lose a season ago. Revenge is on the mind in Oxford. Bowling Green hasn't won in Oxford since 2017. I think Miami, Ohio wins by double digits. All right. You heard it here first. Double digits. All right. I know that's bold in these crazy Maxion games, but Alex, what do you think here?
I remember watching this Miami Bowling Green game down at the Doyt Perry last year, and I remember being thoroughly impressed with Bowling Green's defense for this game. I think it was a 17-13 final for this one last year. And I think Miami's, well, they're ticked. They're like, hey, you kept us out of opportunities to go compete for a MAC championship, because the MAC East last year was just chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, the MAC itself is always chaos, but the MAC East, especially last year, was just nothing but chaos. I really, really like Miami in this one, if nothing else but for Gabbert. I mean, he's such a playmaker. Brett Gabbert he can take control of a game. I think the MAC East this year with Curtis Rourke and Brett Gabbert is going to be very, very interesting. You got two of the best quarterbacks in the league who have to play each other, and they're chief rivals. That's a whole nother story. I really like Brett Gabbert to take control of this one. He knows what it takes to beat Bowling Green. He can do it. Bowling Green's without some really big defenders. This is a big one for Miami, and I see a Bowling Green loss here.
I agree. And Alex already said there's a whole lot more to that story. And that story is available, by the way, because he is the host of the CSC podcast, College Sports Pod on Twitter. That's all Maxion all the time, that podcast. So what are you doing, folks? Get over there. Subscribe. Patty C, what are you doing here
Let me throw a curveball at you guys and throw Scotty Leffler a bone.
Upset.
I mean, is it really? They beat him. Granted, that was in Doyt last year by 4.
They haven't won a Jagerbomb Stadium since since you were doing Jaeger bombs. I feel like since 6 years ago.
Like last night. Look, Miami. They like honestly. All right, that's a coin flip game, and I think this is the looking at the rest of the schedule. I think this is the 50-50 game that I'm going to give them. Maybe not even 50. Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm just calling a big upset here, but I want to throw them a bone, and it's their podcast, so I'm gonna throw them the bone.
You're wearing the orange UVA hat.
You get that W.
Okay.
Go.
This
Falcons.
is in the middle, by the way.
I want to point out. I do want to point this out because I think it's important. Bowling Green has only won this game twice since 2014
in Oxford.
No,
I think a
overall
loss in Oxford. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give him a loss. You guys convinced me.
There we go. See how easy. He's a man
last
of
time they
conviction.
played in Oxford, it was 34-7 in favor of the Redhawks. Miami leaves this series by 21 games. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. You
There's another grain of salt that needs to be taken here that I don't know if we need to dive into, but
we'll touch on that in a later game.
Well, look, this is in the process. This is bonkers right here. You don't see this a lot in college football. They are in Atlanta on September 30th. Then they go to Jaeger Bomb Stadium in Oxford on October 7th. And then they go to UB Stadium, the bullpen, to take on the Buffalo Bulls on October 14th. Holy shit, 3 straight games on the road. This is like the Stones in 69. They're rolling. All right. They're going from city to city. And
Road Warriors.
I got news for you, Patty C. It still ain't going to get the win here. Yeah, the Buffalo's, I think Buffalo's all right. I think Lindquist bringing back Cole Snyder's pretzels is going to get it done. It's a close game. 24-21. Buffalo Bulls get the win. Alex, seems like you might disagree with me. What are you doing here?
Falcons fly and claw up the. Is it claws? Is that what they are? They're talons.
Yeah, they got talons. They got
talons.
Talons, because their whole thing is talons up. You know, we'll call them claws, talons, whatever. Don't sue me, Bowling Green.
Claws,
Scott Leffler's going to yell at me at media day this year. He's like, "You should know it's talons. You know, it's whatever." But they're going to go in. They're going to claw up their eyes. They're gonna say, "Hey, no, this is gonna be their big." I don't want to say their big upset, but this is gonna be that upset. That win. They've gone on a streak at this point. They're like, "We've lost. Let's go make a statement." You know, because at that point, you were what 1-5 at this point.
Yeah.
You go into Buffalo, and it's like they're not thinking about you. They're like, "Yeah, we're not worried about a 1-5 team." You know, how often do we see it happen in MAC play? How often do we see it in college football? You overlook the team who's not doing well. This is a win for the Falcons. It's a close win, but it's a win for the Falcons.
Oh, that's a bold take. Patty C, what are you doing at the bullpen?
No, I'm going Bulls.
Going Bulls. Yeah. Okay. This guy almost takes Miami Ohio to win, and then or takes them to beat Miami Ohio. I'm joking.
Between one of those two, I think you can't ignore the 6 and 7, even though they squeaked by every team and got blown out by every team they lost to last year.
You want a guaranteed win for me?
Scotty Leffler gets one.
Are you ready for
I want to point out, though, Buffalo may have blown Bowling Green out a year ago. I think it was like 38-7. Buffalo barely beat Akron at home the last game of the season. Bowling Green beat Akron last year at Akron. Like this is a I don't know. Like Buffalo's a hot or cold team. They go in, they blow out Eastern Michigan at Ypsilanti last year, and then they barely eke it out against Akron.
Should have lost to Akron. Akron was running out the 100% clock and fumbled. Yeah.
What is
Akron
that?
had 3 or 4 games they should have won last year, but whatever.
Well, that gets me to my next point. I am kind of bullish on the Akron Zips this year. I think they not to win the conference, but I think they're going to have drastic improvement. They bring back both quarterbacks.
6-6.
Yeah, I think they're going bowling. Akron goes into Doyt October 21st, and they beat the Falcons. I still have the Falcons at 1 win. Call me crazy. Patty C, Joe Moorhead is going into the Doyt on October 21st and getting that dub. You can wear all the orange you want over there. All right. And it ain't going to happen.
No, you're wrong. They're going to handle the Akron Zips. And look, they're going to be sitting at 4 wins with 3 games left on the schedule. One of which,
Wait. You have them having 4 wins already?
Eastern Illinois, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Miami, Ohio.
No, you didn't. You changed your mind on that.
Yeah, we flipped you. You committed Miami.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're at 2. Never mind, you're right. Okay.
You signed your national letter of intent for Miami.
Oh, but there's 4 games left. 2 and 6 at this point in the schedule.
2 and 6, and you have them beating Akron, so 3.
Yeah, three. Actually, yeah,
Okay.
that'd be
So 3 and 5, and
3 and
I
5.
have them at 1 and I think they're going to lose this game. You got Akron winning this one?
I've got
Alex?
Akron beating Eastern Illinois, beating Buffalo, and I really like DJ Irons year 2 under Joe Moorhead for Akron. I really like what they can do. Alex Adams is a stud.
Yeah.
They did just lose one of their best defenders, Bubba.
I saw that. That was brutal.
He decided not to take the 7th year of eligibility, and he's going to go try to do some professional ball. I don't know at what level. I don't know if it's USFL or, whatever it may be, but, hats off to him on a great Akron career. But I really like Akron's defense or their offense this year. They're going to surprise some people. I think Akron comes in and wins this game, and I don't think it's particularly close. Although, fun fact for both of you, Akron is 2-1 against Bowling Green in the last 2 years. Joe Moorhead has the lone loss.
That's hilarious. See, you're going with your boy Lef on this one.
That's true. Leffler did manage to lose.
Akron was horrible those years too.
1-11. Gosh.
Then they get a bye after Akron. Then they host Ball State. We go listen to our Ball State preview. I already called for Ball State to get this win. So that second win, that first FBS win for me, it's not coming here. I got them losing this one.
Yeah.
Patty, see you have them losing it
That's
too.
an L.
We already did this one. You had Ball State, right, Alex?
No, I had the Falcons winning this one. Remember?
That's right. Interesting.
This was because both offenses are breaking in new players. I think it's going to be this one's going to be a low scoring affair. This one's going to be something ridiculous like a 17-14 kind of game. That being said, I think that you've got 2 quarterbacks who are throwing to unknowns, pretty much. And it's going to come down to whose running backs are better. I think Marquise Cooper is a better running back. However, I think Bowling Green has a better run defense.
Fair.
So I think Bowling Green ekes this one out.
You got them with their 3rd win. I still got them at 1. Patty C's got them in the national championship, I feel like. But then they go to Dick Stadium to take on the Golden Flashes of Kent State. Yep. This is a win. This is their win.
I thought this was a win, but when you look at
that was when they had Sean Lewis. He's now Dion. He says we coming.
Dude, they were pretty decent last year. I thought it was like and yes, Oklahoma wasn't that good last year, but they kept it within 33-3. They didn't let Oklahoma just race up and down the field on them. 25-point loss to
a 30-point
11-2 Washington. Only a 17 loss at Georgia.
That schedule was insane.
That schedule was insane. That was all in the first 4 weeks of the season. There one game against a shitty team. They won 63-10 in that stretch.
Everyone's gone off that team. Yeah, everyone's gone off that team, dude. That's why it's irrelevant to look at last year.
Let me say this, and this is the only stat that you might want to listen to. They beat Bowling Green 40-6 in Doyt last year. Okay,
you want to bet on this game? Why don't you put
Let's
up
pony
there,
up.
right?
Let's pony up, Alex. We're gonna
Wednesday, November 8th, Dick Stadium. Let's go.
Cheers, and the winner, the loser, shotguns a beer on camera. All right,
that's no penalty.
All right,
Dude, they're gonna win this one, and then we got the battle of the I-75. Toledo going down to the Doyt. Look, Toledo is probably gonna win the MAC again, or they'll be in contention to win the MAC again. And Bowling Green won't. And even though this is a rivalry game, sometimes you got to throw out those record books. I don't think Bowling Green's very good, and I do think Toledo is good. So I got the Rockets blasting off in the Doyt. They win by 17.
I'm gonna let you all give your opinions before I present.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, I think Toledo is clearly the better team here. I think that they hand Bowling Green their
especially if you look at last year.
Platter.
If you look at last year, this is a revenge game, dude.
Yeah, that's true. If you're taking into account
last revenge game. This is Toledo's definitely going to win this one. Lock it up.
And what was the final in that game last year?
Bowling Green
42-35.
Yeah.
Bowling Green scores a touchdown with 9 seconds left to go. 42 yards out from McDonald to Ron Keith. A little scoop, scamper, and score.
You can hear the pain.
You can hear the pain.
You can hear the pain.
So tell us what's
you can hear it in the press box. I want to be clear on that. You can hear the emotion in the press box was absolutely unreal for that finish because Toledo goes down, they score a touchdown to go up by, I think it's by 1. They go up by 1. And the press box is like, oh my God, Toledo's going to pull this out, and just pull it out of their ass. Like, can't believe Toledo went down early, hard. Like they were down, it was like 21-0.
Wow.
Battled back.
Battled all the way back, took the lead at the fourth quarter, 35-34. Bowling Green takes it down the field, scores 9 seconds left. The press box was just pandemonium. It was unreal. Wow. It was the craziest thing I've seen in my life. And I've seen some crazy stuff. This was one of the craziest things I've ever seen.
Rivalry games. That's what it
Rivalry
is.
games.
Glass bowl.
Well, it was cool.
Hearts.
I think it was cool because it was a snowy November night. It was a Tuesday night, but the Glass Bowl had like 23,000 people in it. Like it was a really cool environment.
Action is awesome.
Really rocking.
Yeah. So wait. So it's on you now. Who you going here? Do I even need to ask?
So Toledo had from 2010 to 2018 a 9-game winning streak and have lost 2 of the last 4 in this rivalry game. Scott Leffler took over 4 years ago. I don't think that's a coincidence. I think he understands the importance of a rivalry game, being part of the rivalry game, Ohio State, Michigan himself. That being said, I think Jason Candle understands what's on the line here. His players understand. They hate it. You can hear it and you can see it on social media just how much they hate that they lost to Bowling Green last year. They want to get that they want to get that taste out of their mouth. Toledo comes in. I think that's a double-digit victory for the Rockets.
Let's go. There we go. Look, that's awesome. Tuesday night, November 14th, rivalry game. Love it. Then we got the nightcap, the season ender. Tuesday, November 21st. Just in time for your Thanksgiving dinner. The Bowling Green Falcons head to Odieu Stadium to take on the Western Michigan Broncos. This is an upset. Bowling Green gets it done. Bowling Green is going to be a 3-point dog, maybe a 4-point dog. They pull it out in Kalamazoo. I think this is going to be a back and forth game. This gives me 3 wins. I am on the under, and I feel pretty damn good about it. I feel like you could kind of lock this thing up. Anyway, Alex, what are you doing here at Odieu Stadium?
Western Michigan gets the win to put me at 5. I think a 5-7 season for them. It's going to be a good game.
For Western Michigan.
For Bowling Green. Bowling Green gets the win.
Yeah,
sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Bowling Green, it puts them at 5-7. They don't go bowling, but I think Scott Leffler retains his job because, played tough. They gave a great season. This last year was a little bit of an anomaly because, you really tell me you expect them to beat Marshall after losing in 7 overtimes to Eastern Kentucky. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
You tell me they're going to beat Miami by 4. I don't. So, I think they're going to get a little bit more exposed now that they're so much thinner on defense. Their offense is a lot thinner. Western Michigan loses this game. Bowling Green takes it, but I think Bowling Green finishes 5-7, does not go bowling.
Let me ask you this. What's more likely, 4-8 or 6-6?
Now you got to make me think. I don't like that. I think 4-8 is more likely.
Yeah. Cash this thing.
I think Buffalo or Ball State, one of those wins that I have, I think
could be.
I think they drop one of those and it's a 4-8 team.
Patty C?
I'm on the same page. I think, you guys talk me out of making them a 5-7 team this year. I think if they do pull the upset against Western Michigan, but even that's generous. They only won by 4 last year in Doyt. They have to go back on the road to Kalamazoo this year. Could be a revenge spot. So it could be a 3-win if I don't think they're capable of any upsets here.
Don't be a coward.
No. I do think Scotty Leffler. And let me put a little caveat here. My impression of Scotty Leffler is also flavored by what he did following Brian Steinspring at Virginia Tech. Steinspring was the bane of all Virginia Tech fans' existence forever. While they had that magnificent defense, their offense was so vanilla. And we're thinking Leffler's going to come in here and finally be the guy that improves. And they got worse offensively. They made Steinspring look like a freaking genius. And I was out on Leffler at that point, and then him sucking for the first few years confirmed it to me. But he did surprise me last year. And I have to say that I think that maybe he's going to have a couple surprises up his sleeve. Does that mean he's going to get to 6? Does it mean he's going to go bowling? I don't think so. I think it might be 5. But I think what you said at the beginning of the podcast, Alex, 4.5 is where I think you would have to.
I have him going 3-9, and You could talk me into 2 and 10. All right. So keep the drinks coming. Folks, before we get out of here, we got a guest who travels around to every college football stadium in the land, all 133 FBS schools. And his name is Michael Barker, aka College Football Campus Tour on Twitter. Here's an interview that I did with him. A quick little interview. So check it out. Joining us on the College Football Experience Bowling Green Falcon 2023 season preview episode is someone that you should be following, folks. Michael Barker. Look, some know him as Michael Barker. Some know him as College Football Campus Tour on Twitter, which you need to be following at CFB Campus Tour. Hopefully you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. Michael, welcome. And thanks for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And then we're talking about MAC schools and Bowling Green. So they're not just on Tuesday, but we know them for their Tuesday MACtion games. That's for sure.
Tuesday, Wednesday MACtion games, the heart of college football, baby. And Bowling Green, Ohio. I call this stadium the Doyt. I don't know that it's actually called that, but I know it's Doyt Perry Stadium, but
it is the Doyt.
The Doyt. Okay. The Doyt. Tell me about your experiences to the Doyt.
So the Doyt in the MAC opened in 1966, 24,000 seat capacity. It's named after Doyt Perry, who was the coach of Bowling Green. He had an amazing record, 77, 11, and 5 as a coach at Bowling Green. The biggest crowd ever there, we said 24,000, was 33,527 versus Toledo in 1983. And Toledo, they have a rivalry. It's called the Battle of I-75. Toledo and Bowling Green are separated just by 20 miles of a stretch of I-75. And that's the one game that you want to go to. If you have only one chance to make it out to the Doyt, that's the one you want to catch.
Well, that makes sense. When I think of MAC football throughout my life, I know Bowling Green's had a rough patch lately, but those two schools, I would be the first two that I mentioned throughout. I can remember back in the 90s with Wasan Tate at Toledo, and then Omar Jacobs and everyone at Bowling Green. You had Urban Meyer, you had Dave Clausen, just so many really good coaches there. So those two come to mind. That would be awesome to catch a rivalry game there. How was it? So the fan experience when you went? Pretty awesome. How was the weather?
So that the November in the Midwest is going to be cold. That's the way it is. But us stadium travelers, you're the same type of mindset. We want to be out in the elements. We want to be outside. So that's part of the fun. And the game I went to in 2021 was actually the Battle of I-75. It was against Toledo, and it was the biggest crowd for a weeknight MACtion game that I've seen, in the 7 years that I've been doing this intense college football travel, and it made for a great environment. I've been to some games where people don't show up, but this one was the combination of the rivalry game, but also national TV exposure, and they showed out. Unfortunately for Bowling Green, they didn't win, but as far as showing up, getting fans from both sides, it was one of the best environments that I've seen for a MAC weeknight game.
There we go, folks. Well, that is awesome. And look, I got to get out to the Doyt. If you're in the Ohio area, what are you doing? Get yourself out to a Bowling Green football game and support some good college football. Look, folks, you guys need to be following Michael Barker because this guy goes to like 300 games a year. I know I'm embellishing some, but look, he really does do 5, 6, sometimes 7 games a week. If you follow his Twitter account, he has the shot of the day. He'll just show you a bunch of cool stuff that makes college football so awesome and so unique. So please give him a follow. And Michael, thanks for coming on and talking about the Doyt.
Absolutely. And we know that MACtion is the foundation of our college football viewing experience in November. And every year they play on the weeknight and give you a chance to go out and check it out. So happy to talk about the Doyt and join you anytime.
All right. There we go. The Doyt. I need to get there, and shout out to Michael Barker. He's the man. He's the man. Going to all these stadiums. All right. Well, look, this is our show. I'm on the under, and I think this might, we do that locks season win total locks episode in August. You might be hearing your boy Dundee lock up Bowling Green.
Not a believer, huh?
Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Leffler. All right. No, Patty C, you're on the under. And Alex here on the under as well. If you had to, he said 5-7, but he said like if you had to lean someone, I'm going to go ahead and say he's on the under. But you know what you should be doing is following his podcast. He is the host of the CSC podcast. That is they're on Twitter too, so you can check them out at College Sport Pod. Their motto: all action, all the time. Yes, that is awesome. No, he's not talking about Jim McMahon. He's talking about the MAC conference. All right, all action, all the time. It's perfect. And thank you so much, Alex, for coming on the show and having us yell at you for an hour. We appreciate you.
Hey, no, I got to tell you guys, it's an honor to chop it up with you boys and talk about this conference I love. Anything you guys need, give me a shout. We'll try to make it happen. I'm just excited for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights, man.
Yeah,
Hell
buddy.
yeah, brother. Hell yeah, folks.
Big year coming up.
Give Alex a follow and let's go. We're going to cash that under as much as you guys are. Look, don't worry. We're going to cash it. All right. I'm sorry, Bowling Green fans. I'm an honest guy. I'm not supposed to, I know I was wrong last year. You guys can make fun of me all you want. Maybe I'll be wrong this year.
He's opening the door again for you.
There you go. Folks, subscribe to the the college football experience, the college basketball experience, and the college baseball experience because I host them all. All right. And we have the whole team on there. We come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. When it's college basketball season, I'm here every single day talking college hoops. So hop on over there. Well, I'm here also talking college football every single day, but the difference is it's not Bowling Green. It's not Bowling Green every day. We talk college football every day. So just subscribe to all those. And also make sure you give Patty C a follow on Twitter at PattyC831. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And make sure you check out all of our other stuff. Sports Gambling Podcast. Me and Patty C also host the USFL Gambling Podcast.
I gotta see some Mac guys
why not?
there.
Go to Canton, Ohio. Check out the United States Football League. All right, be one of those 37 fans. Do it. All right. Do it. We want you there. Make it 38. Let's go. All right. And so also, come talk college football in the Discord on one of those Tuesday Maction days. Maybe it's snowing wherever you live. You just, or maybe you're at the airport. You're just sitting there. You're like, man, is anyone else watching this Maction game? Yes, we are. All right. Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We're watching everything. Get on over there. We can talk about everything. Talk about like a badminton game in New Delhi. Get on over there. All right. Get on over there, folks. So until next time, this is the College Football Experience, Bowling Green Falcon style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with the cameras. Run and shoot.